What's a hygiene tip that you think is underused and you wish more people knew? If you chop garlic and can't get the smell off your hands with lemon or soap, try grabbing a running metal faucet and then washing your hands. Something about the ions in the metal help you shed garlic particles. I know that sounds made up, but it works. Also, if your clothes are not getting fresh enough in the wash but you can't use bleach, try adding a cup of white vinegar to your wash water. It rinses away so there's no smell, but it kills lots of mold/bacteria. Don't brush your teeth straight after eating, especially if you've had something acidic. Instead, give it about 30 minutes. You should give the same kind of gap after brushing too. Also, don't swish water around your mouth after spitting out the toothpaste. I haven't been able to go all in on this yet, so I just run a little water over my tongue and spit it out. Finally, do things like stand on one leg when brushing your teeth. It'll help your balance, which can reduce your risk of falling when you get older. Sulfur soap. For real, it only slightly smells like sulfur but more citrus than anything, and it kills warts and other fungus and bacteria where you use it. Even cleaned up my dad's eczema on his arm after developing an issue while doing yard work. I use it on my armpits and feet every day when I shower, and I haven't had to use deodorant for years, unless I just wanted to. Sometimes I like the smell. Edit, because it's been asked many times, I use a Zufre brand, but they all should be the same as long as the sulfur content is the same. Floss. It makes your breath smell better, saves you pain and money at the dentist, and reduces your risk of losing your teeth when you're older. My in-laws have dentures and it sucks. Implants are better but very expensive. I made excuses not to floss for years. One day I realized that that's all they were, excuses. Now I floss every day without fail. I also scrape my tongue with a stainless steel tongue scraper. Take everything people are saying in this thread about skin and hair with caution. There are so many different skin and hair types. The washcloth in the shower thing is a point of contention because people with sensitive skin can't take daily mechanical exfoliation. Same goes for the don't soap up every day thing. Some people get really dried out from soap and can't take moisturizer. Do wash your butthole though, please. After showering, apply body lotion while your skin is still damp. Put lotion in your hands, rub your hands together so it spreads out over your palms and fingers, and then apply it. It speeds up the process, it glides much better on wet skin and makes applying body butter especially so much easier. I can moisturize my entire body in under 30 seconds. Applying lotion on wet skin also seals in the moisture. I struggle with showering regularly because of depression, so it helps me to have a reward system. I currently only get myself bubble tea if I showered more than twice that week. Keep your heads up, fellow humans that struggle with depression. You can do it. If you're a hairy person, use shampoo and conditioner wherever you have dense hair, beard, armpits, legs, etc. It'll keep you cleaner and keep the hair in good condition. I always get compliments from strangers on how silky smooth my ass hairs are. Take your detachable shower head down and blast your asshole with it with every shower. Use soap. Cleans the undercarriage magnificently. Electric toothbrush plus flossing with good technique every day plus tongue brush/scrape plus alcohol-free mouthwash. Trim your body hair, don't shave it. It's a preference thing and people can do what they want, but unless you shave it perfectly smooth every day, soft is better than stubble. And yes, this goes for upstairs and downstairs. For those with glasses, wipe them down at the end of every day, at least every part that touches your face. Your facial skin will start to clear up all over. Edit, I appreciate all the kind words and responses. Hand sanitizer does not protect against the stomach bug, nor a virus. Winter is coming and it will get worse. For people with the fear of throwing up like me, please remember to wash your hands frequently during these months. I'm a guy and I wipe the tip after peeing. But I pee at least 3 or 4 times a day when I'm out and about, so that's a lot of extra drip I'm saving my underwear from, and my soldier won't smell like a urinal. Moisturize your neck. So many people with a skincare routine ignore their neck for some weird reason. Also, if you ever forget deodorant, hand sanitizer works to get rid of the BO for a little while. Put on clean underwear and socks every day. Sometimes more than once a day. Seriously, always start the day fresh and don't let it stay damp down there if you're exercising or working up a sweat. You don't like flossing or your teeth are very close together, try an interdental brush instead. They're super easy and quick to use and feel more effective than floss. Clean out your belly button, please. Source, or nurse who has to clean it after you're asleep, before being able to clean your abdomen for surgery prep. Please. Wash your belly button in the shower. Wash between your cheeks and the rim of your beehole in the shower. Wash behind your ears. Not in that order. Dental floss. I always keep some in my purse and I water pick at home. Also, getting your teeth cleaned twice a year by the dentist. Plaque is stinky. Ladies on Reddit, what are red flags you can't ignore in men? I'm a guy, but red flags I've witnessed or heard about: when he flirts with you in front of his ex, when he talks about himself in the third person. Typically in arguments, so he would be 100% serious when he says shit like "you dare invoke the wrath of Billy?" When he shows up to your house unannounced, if he often leans over and looks at your phone and comments on what you're doing or who you're texting. If you set a clear boundary and they try to negotiate, it's not a big deal, everyone else does it, etc. Like seriously, if their first instinct is anything other than respecting your wishes, dip out. Unhealthy dependency on my replies. Before I met my current I was chatting to a guy who needed replies within minutes. If I didn't reply in 30 minutes, he'd start saying things like "she's gone again, and quat." Or "and I've lost her interest again, and quat." It became like a chore to respond. When I said I didn't feel comfortable continuing the conversation, he started talking about how women never gave him a chance, and he is a good man, and quat. It might not seem to him he had ill intent, but it came across as controlling and pressuring. I had to block him eventually as he kept on messaging even though I had requested to stop the communication. Later he started sending paid likes on a dating platform to get my attention. Had been talking to a guy on a dating app for a couple of weeks, even FaceTimes with him. Went for first date in a pub for a meal, got there he was already there, he came over to me, chatted for a couple of minutes at the bar, he mentioned he was already seated at the table, with his mother, like that red flag could be seen in several alternative dimensions. She was all excited to be there, even cancelled some other evening out she was meant to be going to come on this date, also stated that when son couldn't be bothered to message me she had replied. I calmly finished my drink, looked him square in the eye, directed him to the local maternity unit and told him to ask the midwives to cut the umbilical cord this time and left. Just so you know I was early 50s, still am, and he was late 50s, so not kids. That was the biggest red flag I'd even seen. Blocked him, and technically her, on everything immediately. I have 4. 1. They don't understand the word no. And quat. 2. They say they're dog people but they really aren't and will try to get rid of your dog when you're at work. 3. They treat wait staff or anyone in customer service for that matter like crap. 4. They are jealous of my brothers and don't want me hanging out with them when he's not around. I'm big on making sure I don't fall into the trap again that I once did. Dated a guy that I ignored all my red flags for because I thought it was love. It wasn't. He played me for a fool because he knew he could. Won't ever make that mistake again. I wouldn't call it a red flag per se, but it's a thing I'm noticing more and more. 100%, if you are feeling unwanted and unloved, and are thinking about breaking up, and then you try to bring it up and all of a sudden he starts being everything you wanted, to only go back to being distant and cold. You have yourself a love bomber. It's awful. The amount of people who fall for this is sad. Cause some people just get caught in this vicious cycle not knowing it's even happening. Not for me personally, because I'm married and didn't date much, but one I see all the time for other women are when their significant other talks about them like a child. Anytime I hear a man talking about giving his wife an allowance or telling his girlfriend she can't have something until she finishes some chore, it enrages me on her behalf. It's weird. I always start trying to telepathically tell her to get out of there. Additionally, I hate the same behavior in women. He's a grown-ass man, don't treat him like he's 10. Respect your partner. Just putting this out there, the usual red flags are so consistent you can set your watch to them. A good yardstick is to look at your relationship from the outside. If your sister/best friend/mother's boyfriend did X to her, would you be concerned? Say. LF awareness is important because sometimes you're too close to the situation to see it objectively. Height. tps://www.safehorizon.org/program/5 signs emotional abuse/ ttps://ncadv.org/signs of abuse h. Someone who is trying to take the relationship too fast immediately and makes grand plans from day one for both of you. I have a friend who falls for people like this, and they are always the worst. At best, they're insecure, need validation, and are in love with the idea of love without caring about who is actually in the relationship with them. At worst, they've realized this is a good way to get girls in need of affection to submit to abusive and crap behaviors. Being totally inept when it comes to household management, cooking, cleaning, bills, laundry, etc. I dated a guy who lived alone and was able to do all of that. When we moved in together, he expected me to take care of everything while he sat on his arse and did nothing to help out. Needless to say, I dumped him not long afterwards. Men, this is not the 1950s, household chores are not women's work, and you are expected to do your share. If I set a clear boundary and someone crosses it willingly proclaiming they're only joking and quat. If I tell you directly what I don't want or like and you still decide your idea of funny is more important, I'm out. My boundaries are no joke. Dear non-asexual people, if you were in a relationship with someone and they sat you down and said they are asexual, what would your reaction be? Oh hey, I can help. My wife and I had been dating for about 3 years before we figured out she was asexual. There were some friction points regarding sex prior because like most Alas I thought her lack of expressed sexual desire for me was a knock on me. Pro tip, it's not. Once we realized she was ace and I got over myself, our relationship skyrocketed. Communication is key, just like any other relationship. Don't be scared to talk about your love languages. My wife, for instance, loves hobby time. Once I realized that she expressed love by spending time participating in hobbies with me. The weird bee she doesn't loves me because she doesn't want to bang me garbage went away. 15 very happy years now with a hell of an awesome daughter. Don't let anyone tell you that aces and a loss can't work. We damn sure can. Ace pride. My reaction was shock. We had been married for 14 years. Obviously something was up, and I had been trying to talk with them for years about it. We were in a dead bedroom situation for so long. After a lengthy bout of therapy, they finally told me. They were non-binary/asexual. I took a few days to research and ask several questions. And we talked a lot. Learned they considered themselves asexual for many years and didn't tell me. In the end, we separated and divorced. Hardest thing I ever had to do. It's been 4 years. I am now remarried to someone who isn't asexual and it's night and day difference. I know people change and you learn things in life. However, the hurt is that they knew for so long and didn't discuss or admit it. Just let a problem fester. I only wish that they would have been forthcoming. It wasn't like I wasn't trying to ask and understand. I'm highly asexual and had a ton of sex with a lot of different people when younger trying to figure out why it was so hard to get any happiness out of it. It took asexuality becoming more mainstream to understand what was happening. For me, it's basically just nearly impossible to orgasm because I don't really care about the sex itself, although I can from pure stimulation if I can properly zone out and cut my brain off and focus on that, which is too hard while trying to please someone else. So in a relationship, it just means I can have sex but last forever because I never orgasm except sometime with BJs because I can do the zone out thing. I've had trouble in relationships because some people get mad that they aren't really doing anything for me, but some don't care. This spectrum is all over the place, is the point. I suspect a lot of people are on it and don't realize it. After 18 months of trying to compromise and making each other miserable, we ended our 9-year marriage and sold the house we had built together. She couldn't comprehend me being able to have a physical relationship extra to the marriage, because it would have to involve some feelings, and how could I do that and still love her? And I couldn't bear to put her through the ordeal of sex, or the betrayal of cheating. So, it ended our relationship. It doesn't have to be that way. I have great intimate snuggles with someone I don't have sex with, and great sex with people I care about but don't want to live with. I live alone and it works. Being happy is everything. Say what you want and what you can accommodate. Just don't give up what makes you tick because you are told you have to share your life with someone. This entire thread is why I'm so hesitant to even consider dating ever since I realized I'm ace. I'm sex repulsed, and while there's nothing wrong with me or with other people being honest about needing a partner who isn't sex repulsed, it means that there's going to be so many first dates that go nowhere. It feels like such a waste of time I can spend doing anything else. On the upside, I'm happy to see how many of the top voted comments are people not shaming the asexual person. People have different needs and sexualities, and being honest about them without judging the other person at least gives me joy seeing how far attitudes have changed towards asexuality. Wow, this is weird. This actually happened to me the other day. My partner came and told me she is asexual. We talked through what that meant to her, and basically she's not anti-sex. In fact, she enjoys it. She just has almost no independent interest in sex, and almost no attraction or sexual desire towards people. So, after checking that she was still happy with the way things are and she wouldn't prefer some alternative arrangement, we basically just agreed to continue as we have been throughout the relationship up to this point. Boring, I know. Sorry, edit. In fact, it made me feel more free to pursue my own kinks and desires. Since sex is now something she mostly does because she wants to make me happy, I feel less bad making it about my wants. Edit too. Clarified a bit some people are picking up on. Ask for more details. Are they sex repulsed or just disinterested? Would they be willing to watch me, or interact verbally? Do they like to still give pleasure to others, or only receive it, or are only certain kinds of touch okay? Can we kiss? Do we have to just stay above the belt? Are they okay with me masturbating and then we cuddle? Are they okay with me sleeping with someone else but then coming home to cuddle? This actually happened to me. He was so much fun, that sex ultimately did not matter. We had 8 years together before he went on search of new adventures, but we stayed friends until his death. I still miss him.